Alrighty, ready. I think we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special Friday evening session. I'm coming back on to finish out the donations and my YouTube channel members and all the remaining free readings that we had left over as well. I felt energetic, and we don't have a ton. I did try to do something special this evening after about an hour, slightly over an hour doing donations. I did go and do about 15 minutes or so of free readings, including some of my YouTube channel member free readings. And then I went back to do donations. So if your name is not listed in the description box of the video, not description box, when I post a after I'm done, I'm going to post a comment listing the order in which these readings are completed. If you're not there, then I did complete you in the earlier session. So I was just trying something new, so I could try to get to like kind of fast track on some fast of free readings as well. And so let me know how you guys feel about that in the comments, and maybe we'll do that some more just to try to balance things. But let's see, I've got 4 donations. I got Nova Infinity, Kaylin, and Brenda. And then I got a couple of YouTube channel member free readings, Aria and Kelly. And then after that, the free readings are Victoria, Teresa, Shanae, Shan, Madeline, Pamela, and Dollface Diva. I'll post a comment after I'm done listing all that so you guys can find it. But so enjoy. So let's get into it. Again, am I forgetting something? I don't know. It's a different blurb than I normally say. So if I forgot something, my apologies. But we'll dive in here. So Nova, thank you so much for your patience in getting to your reading and for your multiple donations this evening. So number 4 was, what does Kurt want to say about your dreams and about what he sees ahead of you when you finally get out there and not stay indoors all day? You're funny. All right, let's see here. What does Curdy Pie, what does he have to say about your dreams getting out there? All right, 2 by 2 by 2. It's like entering the arc, and then that last one. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, he sees here that, and the biggest thing right now is the 5 of Swords. It's the conflict between your head and your heart, and getting past that is important. And even have the 8 of Cups on the bottom, which is leaving behind emotions. So figuring out the conflict going on in your mind, and then also releasing emotions. These things will take a little bit of time, and that's okay. That it's important to do it now because it makes everything go smoother later. It's like changing the flat tire now on a car rather than driving on it and ruining the little thing that the wheel is on, and then the axle, and it causes doing more of that preventative and like repair work now just helps everything go so much smoother later. So he's really encouraging you, don't rush, you know, that, but so I think it's just like the underlying energy. Okay. But let's talk about your dream when it's out there. Yeah. So here you are, the high priestess. You have to have the high priestess, right? And but the queen of wands. And so this is what keeps you, the high priestess goes into her high priestess temple. She goes away from everyone and goes up and spends time alone in her high priestess temple. It's an important part of her journey because it helps her connect with spirit and get to know herself. But this is what you transform into, the queen of wands. She's very powerful. She also, like the high priestess, she connects very much to spirit because she helps rule over the wand suit, which is all about spiritual energy connection there. But she also has the black cat. She has the cups, the emotional connection with spirit too. So very powerful. She also, though, has super laser focus, puts her energy into things, has that natural fire sign draw, which you do with Leo. But she's able to really be seen and make things happen. Boom, boom, boom. So it's coming out of the high priestess temple, the high priestess temple that allows you to move forward. That's hilarious. Okay. Then, yeah, you do have the balance of the mind. The Ace of Swords, a lot of mental clarity that comes in allows you to keep a balance of the outside world. So a lot of what you're learning through counseling and all of that helps you gain tools to keep balance when you get out there into the outside world with all the moving parts and stuff. It allows you to maintain that balance, and that's why it's important you're learning it now and not learning it while you're going through it later. You're learning the concepts, the tools, the approaches now. So I love that. Yeah. Look at this. You got the 9 of coins and the daughter of coins. So page of pentacles and the 9 of pentacles. This is like a fullness with spirit with moving in the outside world. So they want you to know that even though you're learning and seeing your worth in relationship to the outside world in a different way as you move forward, this foundation that you're building with spirit too, with the 9 of pentacles. Usually, yeah, and they do have a bird because there's usually a winged being here in the 9 of pentacles because that represents you being independent, but you also having spirit with you, that even when you go out into the outside world, that spirit's not going to abandon you, that they're going to be present with you. And so you're learning, you're developing your relationship with spirit, you're developing your relationship with yourself, you're developing mental tools, emotional tools that are all happening now so that it can flow awesomely later and you won't be hitting a bunch of hiccups. Yeah, you also will have important relationships with the 2 of cups and the sun card. So here's the Leo energy, shining bright, being yourself, feeling full of life. And the 2 of cups is that you do find significant relationships with people, even can be romantic later. He's like saying don't shut down with that, but it's not necessary, but you will have important people and connections that you will glean in your life there, even if it's not romantic. You'll have that community of people who are supportive of all of you, of each other. And so I like that here. Yeah, but they're saying temperance, balance. It just takes time to allow it to unfold and to go forward. Again, that message of not rushing, that the when you look ahead here, with that finally get out there, that is a attachment to some sort of outcome in the future, right? When we look at like a word finally means I'm judging the timing of things. That means that when I'm saying my dream is when that happens, but your dream is happening now, right? You're creating music now, like we talked about earlier, right? How you're creating this for you and then you'll share it later. Your dream is to help people, but you start with helping yourself. So you're living your dream because you're helping the most important person in your life. That's you, right? So I love that. Let's see what your fortune cookie is here. Okay, they do want this one here. Come on. There it goes. Yeah. I think we even talked about it earlier, but you got joy, 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 which says to enjoy something, I simply need to add joy to it. Joy is like butter. I can put it on anything and it'll make it way better. Today, I will add joy to everything, really slather it on. Today, I'm the Orville Redenbacher of joy, and life's popcorn is about to get it. So I like that. So adding joy into your moment, then you're living your dream right now, right? You don't have to wait till later to be living your dream. You can have joy in the dream that you're living. So I love that. So that's what they have for you, Nova. So many blessings to you. Thank you again for your donation. All right. And then Infinity, you're up next. Thank you for your patience in getting to your reading. And thank you for your donation. Current energy between you and Leo and Spirit's advice. All right, let's take a look here. So, current energy between you and Leo. Okay, it's those, and then Spirit's advice. Okay, what do we got going on here? All right, so you do have the Six of Coins, Six of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So, overall energy on the bottom is this giving and receiving, but also awareness of codependent type energy. Because we can come into a relationship adult to adult, but if it turns into parent child, then that the person who is the giving gives until they're exhausted and then continues to give until they're resentful. And when baby bird tries to give back to mama bird, and they're like, no, 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 I can't get to me, they give to other people, other things. And that has to do with that concept of how much do you feel you have to give before you deserve to receive something. And we talk about the Six of Pentacles. I'm sure I've posted it tons of before, where it's about getting into your realization when you were 7 years old or younger, who it was that you had felt you had to give so much to and got so little back from. And that belief of 1,000 coins to 1 coin went down into your subconscious and with your inner child, your emotional inner child, and it's been running on autopilot since then. So if we don't bring it into our consciousness and question it and release this judgment, release this um, feeling of unworthiness, so that we have to give so much to deserve so little, it'll continue to run on autopilot down there until we do. And it'll keep a force field and keep people away that because our inner child goes, no, 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 you don't deserve that yet. You haven't got to the 1,000 love coins, so nope. And it'll keep it away, or it'll repel them out of our lives, or we will. What do they call it? When you destroy yourself, self sabotage relationships, right? So it's important to bring that energy out so you're aware of it. All right. And then, so let's see here, the energy between you and the Leo. Yeah. So there is that, you got the 10 of cups here, which is that seeking of higher love, but the hierophant here is your higher self bringing capital T truths to show you what you're truly wanting. And there was this great it was on Instagram, and he was saying that it's not the individual, the other person, that brings us what we feel. It's we love how we feel about ourselves when we're with the other person. And but that love is in here. They're not generating it. We are, and we could self-generate that in any relationship. And there's this important awareness that comes in with all that, that it's not someone else that makes me feel good about me. It's me feeling good about who I am and how I feel about myself when I'm with them. There's a difference, right? And when you realize, wait, that comes from inside me, yeah, then it could come inside of your own heart, depending on whoever you're with. And when you realize that emotion you're feeling is the same. And I realized that when, like, my 5 longest term relationships I had, even little attempts in between, when I realized it's the same love that I was feeling, but it was with different people at different times. But when I thought about it, I'm like, it's the same love I'm feeling. So it's not them that are creating it. It's being generated in here. It's amazing, right? So important information there. Let's see what else we have here. What advice they have, what other energy. Yeah. We've got this awareness coming in with the King of Wands and the Three of Swords. Three of Swords is fear, it is expectations equal disappointment. It's the belief, you can even see the heart that has roots like a tree growing in there, right here, right there. And there's this awareness, this bright light that's being see how dark that is and how much this they're bringing light in. They're shining light on this lie that heartbreak is. And we fear that heartbreak because we've been taught, "Oh, you're gonna get heartbroken," right? And it's a story that's been passed down through humanity. And but what is, because when spirit goes, "Heartbreak isn't real," I'm like, "Well, then explain when I felt this, blah, 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 and that happened," and, you know, um, I got a little defensive. Spirit's so loving and understanding. They're like, I get it, but let's sit down, let's talk about it." And they go, "So remember when you're" I usually bring it up, my brother, we would take turns scaring the crap out of each other, and but when you're like, "Bah," and then you're like, you realize it's just your brother, the emotion stops and you go out of fear and you don't feel that in your heart. But an emotional monster, when like they cheated on me or they're not reciprocating or I think they're thinking about other people or I don't think they love me as much as I love them. I'm going to lose their love. That prick in our heart is the same prick in our heart that happens when we get scared. It's our body going into fight or flight mode. But because it's an emotional monster, it doesn't get resolved right away, keeps looping in circles until we do look at it and resolve it. So sorry, I keep it in my microphone. the so this is light being shown on this fear of rejection, this fear of failure, this fear of not being chosen. And so spirit is just saying, there's this awareness that's coming in and a lot is shining light on it for you so that you can approach relationships differently and with more power. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, I was just looking at the 4 of coins on the bottom of the deck, thinking, I thought that was the 4 of cups. Well, here it is, which is the 3, usually it has 3 cups. Someone's bored with them, leaning up against a tree going, those 3 cups of the outside world where I'm trying to find emotional fulfillment where I don't get it. But then there's this ace of cups being offered from a cloud, from the divine, which is our self-love. It's the chalice, the holy grail. And it always turns us back in for us to have emotional stability. It's not about finding our emotional stability in the outside world because we're taught, right? It's the 4 of pentacles, it's all the fours we're taught. Look for your security and your foundation, stability in the outside world, in relationships, situations, and things. But all those things are unstable and temporary. People change, people walk away, people pass away. Relationships with humans unstable. Things never stay the same. I mean, situations, jobs, education, whatever, right? Never stay the same, unstable. And things, bodies, bank accounts, possessions, they all break down, deteriorate, blow up, burn down, stolen, all unstable until we turn inward and upward to the chalice, the holy grail. And we're like, there's eternal, unconditional love, the most stable thing, probably the only stable thing really in the human dimension is that love. And when we fill up with that and overflow, then the outside world changes from a place of lack because we're full and overflowing that it becomes they whatever anyone gives us, whatever life gives us is above and beyond extra, right? And so when we look at that and go, I don't worry so much about who someone is and what's going on and are they doing because all that is checking, am I lovable? Because I have to be aware of what everyone's doing and saying and being in order to judge, am I lovable or not, when we're looking for that to define us. But when I find my definition on the inside, everything just is. I don't care. I mean, I don't care. Is that too harsh? No, I don't care. you know, it's like I still want to get things from the outside world, but I don't need it. I'm not like desperate for it anymore. It's like if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't, because I'm totally good without anything. It's extra, right? And we're not so concerned with extra. We're wanting the main meal, which we find inside of us, right? Yeah. And so with this new information, with the three of wands here, I feel like you take things in a different direction with this Leo, whether it's doesn't mean you're sailing away from them, but it allows you to see things more clearly and focus your energy in on you instead of so much on them, right? Because you are the one that's going to give you the love that you've been looking for, not them. You're going to generate that love from within you. All right. So I like that. That's what they have for you, Infinity. And let's get you your fortune cookie here. See what else they want you to know here. What else for Infinity? Okay. Yeah, and you get the bonus card, Abundance. And it says, "Congratulations. It seems you're due for a little." And then they have scratched out a little, and it has an infinitely big piece of abundance pie. It says a little piece, but it's scratched out a little and a big, infinitely big piece of abundance pie. Feel like you don't deserve it? Knock it off. There's that 6 of Pentacles we were talking about. It's already plated and ready to hit your table. Reluctant to take it? Shut your hole. Abundance pie is big enough to serve everyone. This is your hole. Shut your hole. So get your whipped cream ready, unless you're lactose intolerant, and enjoy your well deserved metaphorical dessert. I love that because I usually have an analogy which I talk about. Our soul, our heart is hungry for a 10-course meal with 2 desserts. And we look out here, all the outside world can give us is dessert, no real meal. Eventually, we're so hungry and so, you know, it's a what is it called? Empty calories. We turn inward and upward and like, oh, there's the 10-course meal with 2 desserts. It doesn't mean we don't want more dessert from the outside world. We'll always make room for more dessert, but we're not so desperate for it when seventh dessert is coming and they're like, no, I'm not going to give it to you. You're like, thank you. I was so full. I'm good. Instead of like, no, don't take on my dessert. So I love that comes in there. In fact, what I'll do here, just in case, I'm sure I'm almost like positive that I've given you the 6 of Pentacles before, but if this resonates for anyone else, and you didn't, I'm gonna in the video comment when I post at the end after I'm done. I'm gonna have the 6 of Pentacles next to your name. Um, it's the video. So if you want to check that out, you'll have access to it. All right. That is it. All right. Thank you again, Infinity, for your donation. I appreciate that. And many blessings to you. All right. And then Kaylin Cooper, you are up next. Thank you so much for your donation via Zcash. And you wanted a general reading. So let's see what Spirit wants you to know right now. So for Kaylin. And thank you for your patience in getting to your reading. I really appreciate that. All right. So they got all those. Oh my goodness. All right. And okay. So they just want those. We got 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got 6 cards, but the bottom of the deck, you've got the 6 of Cups. Interesting. So the 6 of Cups is energy of, it's past life energy, past life emotion coming in. And so if you're concerned and looking around relationship, it is saying that you do have someone that you're going to be meeting that, and whether it's romantic or best friend, or it's someone that you're just going to be like feel so familiar with, or you might have already met him. It's like you feel so comfortable. I usually say it's like you meet someone, they're glowing and they have a rainbow shooting out of their butt, and it's like, wow, there's something different about you, and there's this energy that's there that you're like, what is this? But this is past life connection that's coming in. So I feel like that's kind of like a side kind of information, because they pointed out 6 cards, 6 cups, 6 emotions that are going on. And part of the 6 of cups is transformation of emotion that kind of comes from earlier in life. And what happens when we realize that every moment is either a choice of unconditional love or fear, and that when our little inner child feels unsafe or out of control, alarms go off, fight or flight, it kicks out our intelligent adult brain. It also throws out compassion and loving action. Psh, and then a little 2-year-old and its pet hissing cat are in charge. That's why I wear these shirts to remind us of the cat mind. Right? So if we realize every expression is either of unconditional love or fear, we go back and we look at some old emotions. That's what I feel like these 6 emotions are. We go back and look at them and go, "Oh, wow, when that person said that or didn't say that, did that or didn't do that, whatever, we took it as personal. They were acting out of fear, which, like someone drowning, they're panicking, and if they hit someone or grab onto someone and pull them underwater, they're not trying to abuse them, they're not trying to kill them. They're panicking, they're in survival mode. So when people do unloving things, unintelligent, unloving, uncompassionate things, right? Then it's because they're in fear. And we realize that people do that stuff, I always say humans do stupid shit when they're in fear. And when someone does something stupid in our life and it impacts us, we as children learn when someone does something to us, we deserve it. And it's bad and it's personal, right? And so we take it that way. We use it to define us. We use it to define them too. Excuse me. So when we realize, wait a minute, they're just doing fear. This didn't have anything to do with me. I just happened to get hit by the monkey poo that the monkey was throwing, and it's not personal. I start looking at myself differently. I start looking at the situation differently. Might even start looking at that other person differently. It transforms the emotion. If we release the wrath, we release the definition, we release the impact on us. That's what I feel like these 6 cups are coming in, because whatever emotions are triggering are not new emotions. They're old emotions that have been echoing since you were 7 years old and younger. So these triggers, these emotional triggers that are happening are all about that. And if you can think back to when I felt this way before, not I went through this thing before, when I felt this way before, 7 years old and younger, even if you have to go back, when's the most recent time I felt it, and then keep kind of going back and back and back, you'll eventually get down to 7 years old and younger, right? So one of them has to do with feelings of security with this Shah of coins, this Shah of it's King of Pentacles. This is about feelings of worth and how you were defining yourself by things of the outside world, and how unstable you felt because relationships were unstable when you were young, situations were unstable when you were young, things and finances were unstable when you were young. I feel like you had so much awareness at such a young age. You might have been told a lot of times, like, we can't afford that. We're not rich. Money doesn't grow on trees. And so there was a lot of unsurety of, oh my God, are we going to have food to eat? Kind of feelings when you were younger. But it has to do with these feelings of not having enough and not having a support. Because I feel like with the King of Pentacles, it might have to do with father, you know, abandonment, the feelings of not being enough and not having attention or not even being present. But that kind of energy, it's like that wasn't about you. That wasn't you. You were a child. All right. And so I feel like there's some realizing their actions didn't have anything to do with you. Their actions had to do with their own fears. I feel like it's important to know about strong father or masculine energy in your life. The other one, yeah, and again, emperor energy too. So this is like huge Aries, new beginning, fiery type energy. So I feel like one feels like abandonment, one feels like punishment, like fearing the evil emperor, the dictator, is what I'm feeling with this energy coming in. And so I don't know if there was father and stepfather, or if father was Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They either weren't there when they were there, they were being, that punisher. But again, you were a child. That wasn't about you, that was about them. And I feel like it's important for you to know, because these echoes of um, insecurity, and how someone, they either leave me, or they're a force to be reckoned with in my life, and you might be maybe having experienced some relationships like that. Yeah, and then also this could be this energy of someone being, something or someone being taken out of your life when you were younger too. So there could have been a death of a grandparent, or someone leaving, maybe divorce, or but there's something like things or people were moved out of your life a lot. So when you were younger, you don't, it's like you stopped trusting in people and things, because whenever you grew attached, it would get taken away, right? And so there's this abandonment in a way, but it just feels more like I don't trust things. I don't trust happiness, because when I get happy about something, it gets taken away. Or you moved a lot, where you gained friends and you had to restart, and you learned not to invest in others or situations. But that again goes back to younger years, and you realize, okay, I can go and look at these beliefs when they come up and these triggers come up. You can go back to where it happened, instead of thinking it's something new happening now, when realizing it's from the past. I feel like that's why they're wanting to show this over and over, so that you can go, oh, this is back then. Now I can pick up my inner child and give it the unconditional love and attention and time that it was wanting, that no parent gives a child, by the way. No human child ever has a perfect childhood. But we can become the perfect parent, because we know ourselves so well and pick ourselves up. There's a great book if you ever want to check it out. It's The Presence Process by Michael Brown. Michael Brown? I think it is. It's M. I think it is Michael Brown. Um, and It is such a great book about going back and becoming that parent for a child, and releasing these charged emotions from our past. It's a great read. Um, all right. And then another one here, you had the Eight of Coins. This has to do with school, because this was trying to do so much and not getting rewarded when you were younger. And it almost feels like there's this all or nothing, like you had to do extremely well in school or something to get attention. And so now you've carried over that kind of black and white overperformer. You might be aware of this already, but if not, you're like, "Oh, that's where it started." I know with me, I had a very black and white perfectionist mentality until I went to some counseling, and I had a great counselor. She goes, "Let me just say, I know it sounds cliche, but how was your relationship with your parents?" And I'm like, "Well, they were either there or they weren't, and like, but I only got attention when I did extreme things." And then I'm like, and I could have sat there as my whole life unfolded, how I acted in work and relationships and everything else. And I was she go, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just seeing my whole life pass before my eyes and seeing what's behind everything." But when we realize that, and then we can learn to swim in a world of gray instead of black and white. So I feel like that's important for you. And then you have the Wheel of Fortune. I do like this coming in, because this is a card of the tuna for you, that everything that happened in life has happened for you. And I know when we think about these things, we're like, what the hell do you mean? But we do, before we come down here, we know all the possibilities, we know what we want to experience, and that we want to experience contrast and opposites, so we can understand ourselves more. We're not gluttons for punishment, but we It's like this tapestry. If it's all beige, you wouldn't see this design, but in experiencing the shadow, we understand ourselves so much more clearly. And so knowing that we can look at things instead of we can move from a place of feeling like life is happening to us, which is when we experience victimhood, we come here to experience that. There's no judgment. We want to experience lower vibration. We come here. But when we're done, we can go, okay, now let me transform it and ask, why did I want this to happen for me? And see the gift in the that was in it for us to learn about ourselves. So I like that. Yep. And you have the Four of Pentacles, which is stability in the outside world. And there's this message here of home. The Four of Pentacles I always see as four walls, or usually not always see it as four walls. And it's this feeling of home that you can create home, capital H home, because your heart is there. And you don't have to fear that it's going to end up like the home that you grew up in, but that you can create a home that feels safe, that feels full and full of love, and that you can. That's your nest. It's a place of where you can express yourself, and people can express themselves. So it's you don't have to. You can break free of all the chains of the past. So hopefully that helps. I feel like that's what's coming through for you in your fortune cookie. The story of my life. Here we go. I mean, like that kind of confirms it, right? Because this was like a story of your life. You can change the story by questioning and going, oh, these people were doing things out of fear. This doesn't have to do with me. I can change the story now. This says, as I tell myself the story of what's happening in my life, I choose to make it the kind of story where even the tough parts have a sort of inner beauty. Can't make this up. It's ultimately a happy story where every character, no matter how wicked, is doing their best. And let me tell you, it'll be worth it when I earn the Pulitzer Prize for Best Inner Monologue. I love it. And that is, when we realize something too, I love that statement of we always do the best we can in the moment with what we know and our energy and what energies around us. Everyone did, especially parents. I released so much around my parents when I realized their childhoods they had. And I was like, you guys, did great with what you had, and I released, all of that and knew that they were human and it's children raising children allows us to release a lot. So hopefully that helps. That's what they have for you, Kaylin. Thank you again for your donation. I greatly appreciate that. All right. And then the last donation is from Brenda Tejada. And so after this, the readings will be a little faster because the free readings, we just do one or two cards. We don't dive so deep. For donations, we do dive deeper. So if you ever want any of that, a donation gets you priority and diving deeper. So thank you, Brenda, for your donation and the Rainbow Unicorn and your patience in getting to your reading. I really appreciate it. So you want to know how's everything going to go with Billy the goat, tonight and after tonight. You are traveling to go see him, but because you want to ask him what his intentions are. Oh, dun 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 dun. So you can look in his eyes and go, lies. All right, so let's take a look here and see how's everything going to go with him tonight and then after tonight. So that's tonight and then after tonight. I'm just joking about the lies mostly. Okay. All right. So, bottom of the deck, you do have the Three of Cups, which is joy and celebration. So it does feel like very joyful energy that's coming in here. So I feel like, you're feeling joy around the whole situation here. Let's see here. What's going on tonight here? Okay. So I do see here, the 3 cards for tonight. You have the Judgment card, which is your higher self calling you to look at things from a higher perspective. You do have this 9 of Swords, which is facing your fears, and the 2 of Swords, which is, the battle between the head and the heart, right? And so, the need to know their intentions is the fear, right? And those are our fears. This is what's igniting. Like, I'm coming to see you to ask you what your intentions are toward me. Because why do we need to know? Well, I need to be in control. I need to know what they are thinking. I need to know because we fear that things are not going to unfold the way we want them to be, right? And so there's this controlling energy that comes in with this, and to be aware of it. And, you know, the thing that a human doesn't really like is to be boxed into a corner, to be caged, to be, you know, uh, I'm saying interrogated, right? So, with this approach, it's all about approach. It's all about, going in with joy, gratitude, appreciating who someone is, what's, instead of going like, what are your intentions, which will put someone on the defense. If we ask someone, I I'm I love this, what's going on with us and going on this and what are you wanting out of life? What are you wanting to head? And if you approach it that way, very differently received. It's like this 10 of staves on the bottom, the 10 of wands. That can be either looked at as burden or it can be looked at as harvest. And that's all the difference in approach, in perspective and attitude, right? So I feel like it really depends here on how you approach it. The energy is going to take you in a different way. You can't control how they're going to choose, right? But you can make it easier or harder for them to choose lower vibrational reaction and fear. Because if we approach in fear and attack, when you attack, you get a little, the little inner child feels unsafe and out of control or attacked. It will go into defense mode and attack back, right? Let's take a look here. So after tonight, based on current energies, yeah, I feel like you're going to be fine with this outcome here. Yeah, it all depends on energy because you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is, of course, a very good card that even your human sees how this is for me. You have the Son of Coins, the Knight of Pentacles, which is slow building, but you also have the Ace of Pentacles because the Knight of Pentacles is on a quest for this Ace of Pentacles, which is looking at your worth in relationship to the outside world in a heightened way, abundance, opportunity in the future. Now, your last card here is the Two of Wands, which comes back to, again, that energy of whatever you focus on is what grows and expands with your energy. So if you approach it with fear, you approach it with missing, wanting, hating, disappointing energy, we attract and grow that, right? So whatever we focus on is what grows and expands. I know I probably talked your ear off on that about it, but it's such an important concept to understand that we're not at the whim of the outside world, but whatever I focus on is what I draw in with my energy. Whatever my focus goes, my energy flows. Wherever my energy flows, it draws in, like attracting like, right? So gratitude about what someone is doing gets us much further than disapproval and focusing on what someone's not doing. And when we have a bunch of expectations about who someone is supposed to be, should be, need to be, have to be, we spend our time judging and focusing on the lack instead of the abundance of who someone is. And that sucks the life out of a relationship. So just something to be aware of as you're going in here. Again, it could go either way depending on approach, right? because there's a difference of like, I came to see you and I enjoy this about what's going on and this and that, and I'm grateful for this. And what is your joy in life? Where do you want to head in life? And you know, what do you what would you like to see from us, our relationship? You know, but if we're like, what are your intentions? Yeah, 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 they go away. Yeah. It's about being true and authentic too, right? We're not manipulating, we're not playing games. We're being true to ourselves and authentically talking about what we appreciate in someone and being true with our emotions. But also be aware of my triggers. What's my motivation behind it? What fears do I have? Because whenever I'm having these feelings come up, I usually ask myself 4 questions, right? What are my expectations? What am I trying to control? What am I trying to fix? And then what am I fearing, right? So you got authenticity. I don't know if I showed that to you. I'll show it to you anyway, just in case. Authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, I will feel it. Whatever needs to be said, I will say it. Whoever doesn't get it doesn't have to get it, but at least they know it because I've said it. And that's way better than leaving a passive aggressive note about it. Yeah, so being true and sharing is how you share it, though, right? So you can be your true authentic self, but it's how you say things. How would you want something to say something to you? Truly. And it's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to be attacked. I want people to ask about my feelings, about what I'm wanting in life, what I would like to see in a relationship, not go, here's the lamp and you're being, the Inquisition, right? So I love it for you. All right, Brenda, that's what they have, my dear. Many blessings to you. Thank you again for your donation. Very appreciated. All right. So thank you guys again and your patience in getting to the other readings. These will go faster, so thank you. I have 2 of my YouTube channel members. So they get second priority over donations. And if you're interested in becoming one of my YouTube channel members, there is a link in the description box of the video. It does give you prioritization in these readings. I don't always come back on to complete free readings. I just felt very generous tonight. I do it on Sundays, but on the other Fridays and Saturdays, if I don't get to free readings, I always complete my YouTube channel members as well as my donations. And then also we have times on Wednesday night and Thursday night and Friday and Saturday night after the live readings and Sunday afternoon too. Wednesdays for all my YouTube channel members, Zen Cricket and Praying Mantis level. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, those times are my Praying Mantis members get access to that. And they also get advanced access to all my videos that I'm putting out. We got solstice readings and 2024 energy forecasts are all available to my members. And everyone else will get them. Next week are the solstice readings, and then the 2024 forecast are coming out on December 20th. It's actually the beginning of solstice. All right. So Aria, you are up first. Is your husband Rolf trying to push your boundaries? Is he doing things on purpose to trigger you? I hope you ate a lot on the holiday too, Aria. Let's take a look here. Is he trying, or is he just good at accidentally doing things here? All right, they didn't want any of those other ones. Let me see. Anything else? No, just one card. Let's see. What is this? Sometimes you got the Chariot card. This is the power of choice, the movement here. So I feel like, that there's I don't feel like um they purposely try to trigger you, but I feel like they get triggered and then they trigger, because they act in defense. And, that's the kind of energy that I just kind of feel comes in with all that. But there is this mirroring energy because no one no one can choose for me. The power of choice card is a wonderful, powerful, empowering card because every moment is a choice, a mental choice of the story we're going to put to something, the emotional choice we're going to choose, the energy in my physical actions. I'm either going to choose a higher vibration or a lower vibration for each one of those. Now, people can make it easier or harder for us to choose higher or lower vibration. If someone's screaming at me in my face, it's going to be harder for me to choose unconditional love. Not impossible, but that's my choice. Ultimately, I am the only one responsible for my triggers. If someone if I am triggered by someone's words or non-words, actions or non-actions, that's my trigger, not theirs. So, because they can do that exact same thing to someone else that doesn't have that trigger and it doesn't impact them. So it's me. This is mine to own. So if I feel like my boundaries are being pushed, then I get to do some self-reflection and go, what fear do I have that's being triggered on the inside? Because that's if it's not a unconditional loving feeling, we're like, do that some more if that is the case, right? But if what they're doing is, bringing me into that lower vibrational energy, then that's my feelings are flags that something can be looked at inside of me. And I'm like, that's the mirror, this human character, all these human characters are mirrors for us, showing us what we want to see about ourselves until we see it. And so, we can realize, okay, if they are doing things that are making my triggers activate, thank you, teacher. Thank you, you know, higher being behind this character. You're doing this for me to free me from it. Because if someone's not triggering it, doesn't mean it's not impacting me already underneath the surface. They're just bringing it up to my face so I can go, oh, I didn't realize this was going on down in my subconscious on autopilot, impacting me. So, you can maybe think, thank you. Thank you, oh Master, you said Raf, oh Master Raf, for bringing that to my attention. A great, I don't know if I've um, referred this or not, but Byron Katie, wonderful, wonderful mirroring tools that she provides. She's got a YouTube channel, and then also her website is thework.com, TheWork.com. Great resource, free, judge your neighbor worksheet, transformative. I really highly recommend it because it changed my life. So I recommend that. All right. That's what they have for you, Arya. So many blessings to you. Hang in there. Don't kill anyone. All right. And then Kelly, you are up. Hello, hello. So, can you please get a message for anything you need to know or whatever? Sure, Kelly. Let's take a look here. What does Spirit want you to know right now? Okay. All right. Looks like just one card for you, too. So, you got the 10 of staves, the 10 of wands. And this is like a message from Spirit just about taking an energetic inventory. And what I mean by that is kind of looking at where are you investing all of your energy in your life because it kind of feels exhausting when we get this card. It's like I'm doing so much and I feel like there's not a whole lot of movement. And what that means is like you can have 10 pieces like on a chessboard or like say checkerboard, just 10 pieces. They can all move ahead one space, but all that energy just moved up everything at one, right? But if we are able to kind of evaluate what is truly urgent and important and move like maybe two things up 5 spaces each, you see how all that energy, it feels like progression, it feels like movement, it feels like things are changing, and it feels like, and these are important things. And so what we do is we look at 3 buckets in life, right? The ones, this is what spirit shows. we're kind of taught everything's urgent and important in life, right? And it's not. We're just taught so much, and so we have to get really real and really honest and go, out of these 10 things, what's truly urgent and truly important? And then those things go in that bucket to you. What are truly urgent and important to you? And then the second bucket is what is um, important to you, but not urgent. So those are things you can put on your calendar and space them out and, you know, do those over time, knowing when they'd become urgent, right? And then you have a third bucket, the things that are urgent, but not important. And those things you just dump into there because that's like, I'm not going to invest any energy into those because they're not important. They're going to take care of themselves or not get done. Now, if you finish everything in bucket one and bucket two is all done and you're bored and you want to do something, you could always dip into bucket three and go, what's one thing I want to do? But they're not important. So it doesn't matter if they get done or not. When you have those three buckets, you get clarity. These are the little couple things that are urgent and important. You get those done and you invest your energy in that first. And then if there's any energy or time left over, then you can work on something important that's not urgent and go from there. So I feel like that's an important message for you right now. It'll help really prioritize but the biggest thing is getting true on what is truly urgent or important to you. All right. So that's what they have for you, Kelly Kelly. So many blessings to you. All righty. And then for my non-members for the free readings, I've got just what about seven? So we will take care of these as well. So Victoria Huber Ramirez. Hello, hello. Thank you for your patience in getting to your reading. And it says, may you please have a general love reading. All right, let's see. What does Spirit want you to know around love? They want that one there, but not that one. Okay. None of those others. Anything else? Okay, there it is. Thought there was a second card. All right. Wow, yeah. So, I talked about the Three of Swords earlier, and this is you know, this is the heartbreak or the fear, expectations equal disappointment, and the Devil card. This is all about expectations. Both of these together here. It's a good reflective energy because what the Devil card, it's Capricorn, Saturn energy, which is it shakes and rattles our cage to make us realize, like with that Three of Swords, what over time have we created? What cage do we have over our minds and our heart that's been created through these thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that are rooted in fear that we've learned over time? All these popular opinions of things like sound like supposed to be and should be and need to be and have to be and must be. And we fear failing a long list of even contradictory beliefs around love, since we're talking about love, right? This is all about, who is that person supposed to be, should be, need to be, blah, blah, blah. How is a relationship supposed to be? And how is it supposed to turn out? And who am I supposed to be in the relationship? And blah, 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 blah. Like a long list of all these rules, and that sucks the life out of a relationship because when we have that long list, what we focus in on fear, because we fear rejection, we fear not being lovable, fear not being enough, blah, 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 the fears, right? We know what those are. We hear them all the time, right? But when we have that long list of expectations of things that have to be achieved in order to be lovable, to be acceptable, to be a good relationship, well, etc., there's so many we focus on that all the time that we're focusing on what a relationship isn't being. And that's what sucks the life out of a relationship because when you're constantly looking at what's not working, what's not working, what's not working, or fearing what's not going to work out, our energy draws in that type of relationship and people and situations and energies that match that. But if we start focusing on gratitude and drop all these expectations, kind of saying, Creator, I trust that you're going to bring the perfect person in the perfect way, in the perfect timing. No, that's a tough one, right? What? I want it right now. But trusting that, focusing on our own self love, raising our love vibration, because the more we raise our love vibration, then the faster things come in. When I'm in lower vibration, the slower things come in. And we're drawing in the low vibrational stuff anyway. But when we raise our low vibration, we start by questioning these thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that don't serve us anymore. They're rooted in fear. Like, nope, that's not going to bring me what I want. We look at emotions that no longer serve us, rooted in fear and lower vibration. We start looking at cleansing our energy, you know, auras and chakras and clearing our energy, and then decluttering our outside world. Kind of declutter our mind, our heart, our energy, and our world, our physical world, and that allows space that, raises our love vibration, which draws in something that matches that, but it also cleanses and creates the space for us to be able to do that. So I feel like that's what they want to kind of focus on right now, because you don't want to continue to do what you've always done and get what you've always gotten. And so it's like there's this pause period that's happening. They're showing that to you so that you can move in that direction. So hopefully that helps. Right. And that's what they have for you, Victoria. So many blessings. And then up next, we have Teresa Horton. Hello, hello. So, tell you about your new man. All right, let's take a look here. What does Spirit want you to know about this new man? All right. Well. Okay. Well, magician energy here. So, very much a go getter, very fiery, um, able to really self sufficient, make things happen. They've got a positive outlook in life. The Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Coins here, shows that they've got this independent feeling. And I like this energy of how they learned to manage their energy with the alchemist, because they realized when they focused on pain and suffering and failure and victimhood and those things, that they got more of it, and it didn't help. It just kept them on this downward spiral. I feel like they had like a challenging teenage years mainly, but probably started around, I feel like, 10 years old, but really 13, 14, 15, 16, they could have probably killed themselves if they that's probably where they were at. Like, I'm either going to end my life, or I'm going to choose to live. They chose to live. And this self sufficiency that they look within themselves. So I like this energy, because they feel like very bright, very go get, go get it, kind of energy. But they don't define themselves by that outside world. They're very secure in who they are. And so it's not arrogance, it's confidence. And I like that. So that's a little tidbit what they want you to know about them right now. Right. So that's what they have for you, Teresa. So many blessings to you. And then Shanae Govender, hello, hello. You want to know, how does Kyle feel towards you? All right, let's take a look here. So how does Kyle, what's his feelings towards you right now? Which of course is reflective of his feelings toward himself, but just keep that in mind. Yeah. Well, they do have the Ace of Wands, which is passion, attraction, energetic attraction. The Two of Swords, they do kind of are battling between their head and their heart with that card coming in there. So they definitely have attraction and passion, and their heart is attracted to you. Otherwise, there wouldn't be this battle between the head and the heart. But the heart's like, ooh, and the mind's like, hold on, leash on the heart, get back here. We're not just leaping into things. We can allow passion to flow. We can allow that energy to go out. But you know what happens when I let you go do what you want to do? Pain and suffering. So no, I'm not going to let you just jump in it. So they kind of have this little tether on their heart that they keep holding back here. But there is emotion there. They're just not allowing, their mind is not allowing them to act on it yet, because they want build security. They want to build trust. before they'll just hand over and allow their heart out, which means they've had some pretty sucky experiences where they handed their heart to someone and they stuck a fork in it and threw it in the microwave and in the blender and then stomped on it and handed it back to them in a little liquid thing, and they're like, what did you do to my heart? So they don't distrust their heart willy-nilly fast with anyone. It's very, very slow. So I feel like that's what they want you to know right now. So hopefully that helps, Shanae. Many blessings to you. Good to see you. All right. And then Shan L, you are up next. So well, great. For the first time catching on a live stream. So sorry I didn't get to you during that live, but now you're in the backup here. So glad to see you. And you like a spirit message. So let's take a look here and see. What does spirit want you to know right now? Okay. All right. That and that. I like it. So you have the sun card coming in here, which is a bright, bright light shining. And when it's shining on your life, it's shining into even the little corners with the cobwebs on there. This is what it's been showing you here with the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, I like because they usually have here, there's like two swords left behind, which are two mindsets that you become aware of already in the past. Two things, two ways of looking at things that stole opportunities and um, you know limiting beliefs where you felt powerless and that type of thing, and so that energy was there, and you were aware of it. So that's two. And then they have three swords in one hand because they're looking back and they see the two that they have there, and then they have the three that they see, which you're aware of and you're working on. But then there's two over here that they're not looking at. And so there's a couple more things that are going to be shown to you, but this is all for you to release this deceptive, lying, whispers, the self-talk that is not worthy of you anymore. It was never worthy of you to begin with, like you didn't they're lies, so they're untrue. But there's this clarity that's coming in. And this is things that you had created for yourself to feel safe when you were younger. And it's like, all right, well, that was good for then. It's like putting up, the little baby gates at the top and bottom of stairs so the babies don't go bumping down the stairs. You're like, I needed that for when I was then, but I'm an adult now. Now I'm just tripping over, and they're becoming an obstacle for me instead of a safety thing. So these are thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that you've been letting go because they don't serve you anymore. They served you at one point, but you're evaluating it, going, yeah, this isn't for me anymore. Thank you, but I'm changing, and I'm this awareness that's coming in. So bright lights, a lot of ahas, a lot of awareness, and these come up with as triggers. Um, we might even see other people doing it in the outside world or dreaming about it, but it's being brought into your peripheral so that you can release these things. So I like it for you. So hopefully that helps right now for you, Shan. Good to see you. Many blessings. Right. And then Madeline Lay, you are up. So Derek's current feelings for you. Let's take a look here. So Derek's current feelings for you. All right. All right. Well, Derek. Derek with this King of Wands, Wands energy is passion, drive, that energetic attraction. And had this been the Knight of Wands with the Three of Cups, I would be saying, it's someone that can't handle they can't keep it in their pants. And so it'll be someone that's seen a lot of different people. But I like this because the Three of Cups it's a joy and celebration, but it's a third party kind of situation. But the King of Wands, they understand when it's appropriate to act on passions and when it's not. and I feel like there's a third party that's been showing interest in them. So if you've been picking up on this, but they're not, they're like, no, 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 no. I'm, I respect. There's a great amount of respect that comes in with this energy. And even though, this other person's showing them interest, they're constantly shutting them down. And I feel like you know who it is too. And you're just like, wow. But I feel like it's important for you to know that, that they're attracted to you, you know. They're not so much an emotional being that emotions their first thing they give, they're more, passion and energy, that kind of um, attractive, attraction kind of energy. They give their heart slowly, and but I don't feel like they're, sometimes you have individuals who all they can give is passion because they have low self-love. But I feel like they have self-love, but they're all about, it's very kingly. Like you don't just, you don't, fools don't rush in. They're very, um, it's not regimented, calculated is the word I was looking for. They're calculated. All right, you know what? We'll move on emotion and passion. I mean, passion, let emotion build and go in, and then, this is how it goes. They're just very calculated and they have their way about it, but very respectful. And so they have attraction there. Emotions, I don't even feel like they're allowing them to just stir a little bit, not boil. They keep that on warm. They don't even turn it on to high, so hopefully that makes sense. One thing about cooking, and then you throw the stuffing mix in, though. But so I feel like there's attraction that they're focusing on, some emotion bubbling, but they're not letting it go full willy-nilly. They have their little way of doing things. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. So that's what they have for you, Madeline. So many blessings to you. And then Pamela Lay. Hey, hey. So first time for you too. Thank you so much for being a new subscriber. You would love a spiritual message. Absolutely. Let's see here. What does Spirit want you to know right now? Okay. That one and that one. All right. I just put these back in and here it comes. Wow. But this is all about, wow, talk about legacy and community. And 10 of Pentacles is about partnerships and fullness of life. But this Three of Cups comes in first, which is your posse, which is your community. And when this comes out like this for me, it means if you don't have like two besties who are like brother and sister or whatever with you, where, you know, they're the ones that are going to keep you honest about yourself. And, they'll be the ones that'll call you out going, you're shrinking, you're, you know, making yourself smaller, you're lessening yourself, you know, and they're like, no, 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 and you'll do that to them too. It's all about with love, um, keeping people honest about what they're doing, what they're letting go, that kind of thing. And that's an important piece. It's like you might shrink in relationships where you become what other people want you to be, and so you lose yourself, but these are going to be your anchor, these individuals. So I feel like you're going to have two besties who do that, and if you have them, that means a relationship isn't far away. But this happens first before you meet someone and develop this relationship that's about legacy, that's is the partnership and the children and the dog and the house and the money, and the outside world feels complete. But it starts with this meeting these two, I feel like it's two individuals because you're like three peas in a pod, and you all three are, you best friends with each other. It's a group of three, and but it's such an important piece of foundation because otherwise you end up losing yourself. And it's just a good, what do you call it? Support. It's a support system that you guys have with each other. And it's important. Whoops, sorry. It's important for you to not hit your microphone, but it's important for you to live life and keep your life too, which they will make sure that you do. They're like, all right, and I don't care that you want to make plans with them on that night. That's our night out and we're all going. So you go tell them, sorry, and they'll understand. And if they don't, they're not for you. Boom. So I like that for you. That's what's coming in right for right now, Pamela. So many blessings to you. All right. And then lastly, but not leastly, we've got Dollface Diva. Hello, hello. So general for the weekend. All right. What does Spirit want you to know here? All right. Boom, boom. So you have the Eight of Swords and the Four of Coins. Now, the Eight of Swords is this movement of thinking where you're leaving behind or processing and working through old thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that have made you feel limited and small and trapped and restricted. And this has to do with home with the Four of Coins. It's about stability in the outside world, and it can have to do with your thoughts and beliefs around your worth and how you're looking at it too. Because the Four of Coins has this message of, you know, we're taught to define ourselves by the buckets of the outside world, relationships, situations, and things. But when they do, they feel very unstable because all those things are unstable, right? Sure, we probably talked before about, relationships, people with humans, right? People change, people walk away, people pass away. So relationships are very unstable with humans. So if we define ourselves by those, then we feel unstable as well. And then situations like jobs and education, social status, whatever situational things we can get in, they never stay the same. So unstable, we define ourselves by that. We feel unstable. And then things, our bodies, our bank accounts, our possessions, when we define ourselves by those things, because those things deteriorate, they blow up or burn down or break down or are stolen, so unstable, right? And so we also feel unstable. Eventually, that instability of the outside world and all these thoughts and beliefs that tell us you're supposed to define yourself by all that stuff, right? When we realize it's all unstable, nothing. I mean, I looked at it all. The only thing I can find stable in this realm is when I turn inward and upward to the eternal and unconditional love of the higher realms. It's what we're made out of. It's what we want. And eternal, never ending, that's pretty stable, right? Unconditional, nothing you have to do to earn it, nothing you can do to lose it, no conditions, very stable. And so that becomes the foundation of your worth. That becomes the foundation of your pricelessness. So instead of having your worth based on retail price, which is what your worth may be to the outside world, you find because that's when we end up on the clearance rack, right? The retail outside world. But inward and upward, we're priceless. We're wow, right? And that changes. We don't need the outside world to define us. We define us, and then we get to experience the world as a place of abundance instead of something that feels we're lacking or that we think is lacking. And it changes things. So, a time of really questioning our thoughts and beliefs and freeing yourself from those definitions, turning inward and defining yourself here changes your world into a very solid place, as a very solid foundation. So, hopefully that helps. That's what they have for you right now, Dollface Diva. So many blessings to you. Good to see you. Right, everybody. Thank you for your patience and getting to your readings. I will be back tomorrow morning in about 12 hours, less than 12 hours. I can't believe it's 11 o'clock already here. But 11 a.m. Mountain Time tomorrow, and then tomorrow night again at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and Sunday as well at 11 a.m. So Hope to see you again. And if you're interested in becoming a YouTube channel member, there is a link in the description box down below if you're interested in that. Or if you want a personal reading, I also offer that and some other services. There's a separate link for that as well. If you want to dive deeper into things. Right, everybody? Remember, when you're going through this adventure, every second of every day of your life, you truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the mother and the father of all things, our creator. And of course, I love you too. So until I see you again, much love. Hang in there. Take care of yourself. We'll see you soon.